Today in the amp vault, finally, the Peavey VTM60. So here we have my Peavey VTM60. It's from Peavey because of the logo, and here it claims VTM60. And as you can see, this actual unit was based in a tobacco company for 100 years. Well, apart from the outer appearance, this thing is fully functional, and we have high gain input, low gain input. We have gain pre and post, which means pre is your drive control and post is your volume control. We have a 3-band EQ, low, mid, high, and we have added presence control. And we have an FX loop on the front, always nice. And the special thing about the VTM series is this tiny little, well, how do you call it? Dip switches, or DIP switches. In Germany we call it piano of mice. The plate is missing, but I don't care because I want to toy around with it. Those are response modifications, and you can basically modify gain 1, gain 2, comp, low 1, low 2, mid, high 1, high 2. Whatever that means, we'll find out in a minute. So let's have a look at the curve. I've set everything to noon, except post is around 2 o'clock and pre is at 1 o'clock. And we can see a very familiar curve. I think this is very similar to the Marshall Valve state actually. We have a huge high peak between 4 to 5K and a plateau on the lower sides. So first things first, low. Very, very subtle shelf EQ. Mid. Increases the volume, but very, very subtle as well, and high. Increases the high peak and actually decreases the lows. So it seems to be that the EQ works as in every Marshall amp. Very, very subtle. I hope it's effective nonetheless. And we have presence. Adds again high frequencies. Okay, now gain or pre. Smoothens out the curve. We get lots of bass. Really interested to find out how this actually sounds. And now we have the response modifications, and I have my professional DIP switch shut tool, and let's see what gain 1 does. Nothing, but that's gain of course, so I don't care. Gain 2. Slight increase in volume. Now comp. I think this is for gain compression or so. Decreases the volume. Okay, interesting. Now low 1. Gives us a bit of a boost. Low 2. Increases the bass even more. I think this is more of a shelf. Now mid. You should be mid. adds a bit more mids. Now high 1. Nothing that I can see, maybe we can hear it. And high 2. Nothing I can see. Okay, that's it for the curve, and now let's find out how this thing actually sounds. So for the live review part, I wanted to try out how well the Peavey VTM takes pedals in front of it, and therefore I have a really basic signal chain. My Black Cat custom guitar goes into the Lichtlam Audio Amber Spyglass. This is basically a boost with an added 4-band EQ, and this goes into the Peavey VTM. This goes into my Torpedo Captor, into a Jens Bogren IR. And it's a different one that I used in the audio comparison. I used the Greasy Beard in the audio comparison, and this is the Cook Juice. So, another thing for the response modifications, I found that I really like gain 1, gain 2 and comp activated, as well as high 2, and the other 4s, meaning high 1, mid, low mid mid 2 and low mid 1 deactivated. I think I don't switch those, although I think you can do cool stuff, especially with the comp and the mid control, but I think I need this much gain. Well, yeah, this is the basic sound, just the amp. Really cool how it compresses the signal, gives us kind of an angle vibe, but not really. Don't kill me for saying this. Anyways, let's activate the Amplifier Spyglass first. Let's set everything to noon and see how well I can boost this amp. So with this boost pedal in front of it, I can tickle a bit more gain out of the VTM. However, I still think it's missing some gain, but that's totally okay. You can always use another pedal in front of it. I could get rid of this really flubby bass. At least in my opinion, the bass is kind of flubby. And the low mids, I cranked the high mids and the treble to give it a bit more aggression. And this sound I really like. Although I know the VTM60 is hard to dial in, and this is actually not even 10 minutes into playing with this amp, because I literally just shooted the audio comparison and then I do this live review part. So I think over time I will come up with a lot of cooler sounds, but well, it's my initial opinion, it's my initial thinking of this amp, and whenever do you get this. So maybe I'll turn off the comp. Okay, now. Well, you even get cool sounds out of it this way. It's really fun to toy around with this thing, but I have to do it off camera because it's so versatile, especially with this response modifications. So this is my first impression, and now comes the verdict. You know, I searched a long time for the VTM60 to get it for a good price, of course, and I finally got it. And well, it's basically a Marshall JCM 800-ish amp with a couple of mods built into it to manually activate or deactivate if you want it this way. And as that what it is, Marshall with some added mods does a wonderfully well job. It doesn't have this much gain, but that's totally okay because I'm going to boost this amp anyways. You get really flexible with all the little dip switches. You can really dial in the sound that you want, even with just a 3-band EQ and an added presence control. Plus there's an FX loop on the front that gives you lots of options. Maybe you want to include EQ pedal or so. So really cool amp. I've also only checked out the high gain input. I know that on the low gain input you get a nice clean sound out of it, but who wants clean sounds anyways? So it works really good with pedals. I tried the boost pedal with it. I will try another pedal that's kind of famous out there in a couple of days with it. But yeah, all in all, I really like this amp and I'm glad that I finally got it. Marshall sound in general is not my favorite sound, but this one might change my opinion. So today's question: do you own a Peavey VTM60 or a VTM120? Or do you own any other Peavey amp in general? How do you like those amps? If you own a VTM, what's your favorite setup? Which DIP switches do you activate, which do you don't activate? Just let me know down in the comments. Let me also know which pedal you wanna hear with the VTM60. I have one in my mind. Maybe you have another one. So with this said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. May the force be with you and have a nice day.